On Twitch. Okay. Get my situation. Morning. Happy Sunday. It is 6 a.m. here. Beautiful Western State, Arizona. Lovely 30 degrees. We are world's worst blog. I'm getting close to having a functional blog here, which I'm happy. Not pretty, but really functional. Let's look at what we have. So we have a blog here that has account features. You can log in with Google. I added other features just in case don't use them. So you can log in. You have this blog entry rendering. I'm put it in this scrolling area just so I could see the comment section while I was working on it. And so we have, what am I missing? There we go. See my chats in case chit chat with me. Not that many people are up this early in the United States. I could have some people watching, which would be great. Mostly just recording my thought process here, so my students and who's interested can come back. And also, I'm trying to be more public with my coding work. I have found that streaming and coding at the same time, I do code slower. I'm talking a lot. I think it makes me code a little bit better because it makes me think out loud though. So we have this prototype here. When I'm logged in, I can leave comments. Hello, this is a comment. All right, I'll leave a little comment there. And if I change accounts, leave another comment. Oh no. Oh, the get comments is broken right now. Get comments. And I think it's because cannot read properties undefined. Name. Hang on. Thought I had done that. Oh, that's right. Not all users. All right, so when you post a comment, there's a bunch of comments. When you post a comment, it's trying to load the display name for the users, but not everyone. When you first sign in, I need to set that value. Okay, so let's go to our Firebase console. And let's check out what that's like here. So in our database, in our user data collection, we need to, essentially upon login, this needs to be set for a user. It needs to take their display name. And then we give the user an option to change the display name somehow. But we'll use the default. So down here on auth, yeah, so I think we have it right now. On state change, it calls on auth. All right, so this is where we need to set, like, add user data to the database. So something like set display name needs to be called. So let's write a function here. Set display name. And by default, what we're going to have happen is it's going to take their user data and just store it into the database. So we're going to do the little query here. It's going to look like that doc. Do set doc, and it'll be, this will need to be an async function. Wait, that doc. Oh, maybe it doesn't need to be awake, so probably. And then this is gonna be doc ref, and then the data is essentially gonna be something like their display name. So display name, it's gonna be user data dot display name. And let's do the following: const display name is equal to user. So if their display name is set, we're just gonna take that. And if it's not set, we're gonna do a default. This will probably trigger a window to pop up. No display name, like that. And display name might not be right, so we'll do a console log here, just so we can see what's in user data at a glance. Then we'll set this to display name, and of course we have to get that set doc ref. Gonna look something like this. So this is gonna be user info ref, user info ref, and this is in user data, user data, and then the user data, the document ID is actually the name of the user. Yeah, so we'll await. I guess we don't need to await that, I'm not sure. Really, this, yeah. I think maybe we do, because, well, we'll see. We'll see. I want like a then on success or something, but I don't know if I need to do that. And this just will overwrite what's ever in there. So we need to actually do a thing where we say get the ref, and then do a get doc here before it, and we're gonna say, okay, if it exists, pull that info out, otherwise set it. Okay, so this is, we're gonna get this, and then parenthesis, we need to actually check if that snapshot exists. And so if it does, so we can say if doc snap dot exists. So if it exists, we're gonna pull out the display name. I think that's what we want to do. To do extract display name. If it doesn't exist, we kind of want to prompt the user. Else to do prompt user for display name. And probably we want to ensure that the display name is unique. so they can't have the same display name as someone else, or put like a unique, you know, what Discord does, what a lot, like Xbox does, what a lot of things do is you have like a it's like whatever you want your display name is, but there's a little hashtag at the end to sort of distinguish. But in here we'll do a set doc, like so, where we set the display name to this for now, just to see how we do. User comments is not iterable, line 85. So this is still your comments is not iterable. That's fascinating. It must be like undefined or something. Let's come look in here. I did end up with in the database with what I wrote, it did end up writing in a display name for the user that was logged in. So let me log into one of my other mini accounts. We'll try this one. And so the display name, I should get Mr. Beta. There we go, we got Mr. Beta as the default display name. So what we'll have happen is we'll have a pop-up show up that says, you know, what would you like your display name to be? But we have an issue with leaving comments or loading the comments. User comments is not iterable, which I'm assuming, okay, because that user has not left. We go to articles. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's because of the copy and paste. Here, let's delete this. This was a copy and add. So the server was live reloading as I was coding, and when I copy and pasted that initial path, it threw that in there. Okay, so now we get Captain Coder made a bunch of stuff. That's because the Joseph C account's display name in the database here. Let's post as Billy Bob. This is a test comment by Billy Bob. And we get this is a test comment by Billy Bob at the end. Right? And then let's change one more time. And we'll log in with another account. Mr. Beta account this time. Hello from Mr. Beta. And there we go. There we go. So now our comment section is working. We can log in, we can leave comments. Pretty happy with that. It loads up the username. It seems pretty quick. There are probably better ways to do this, but I'm not having to write any sort of special functions. How much network traffic? 24 kilobytes. That's feels okay to me. Feels reasonable. Of a transfer to load this page. All right. Okay. Let's keep going. If I could keep it under like 50 kilobytes, I'd be really happy. Right. All right. Okay. So what do I need to do next? What do I want to do next? Let's do a commit here. Save my work. Git add git commit -m. We'll do work in progress. Add initial user information loaded. Initialize display name on user login. Okay, so I want to add a way for the user to specify their display name. I want them to be able to change their display name. All right. So it's starting to feel maybe I would like to have like a modal pop up. It's starting to feel like maybe I need to start thinking about styling a little bit, because this essentially has almost all the things I want. I need to make a home page where it will like list all the blog entries, that sort of thing, but we're getting close here to having a fully featured blog. I'm excited about. But I'm feeling like, okay, we probably should start doing some real styling and maybe incorporate a library. If I want to do modals are not... Writing a modal from scratch does not sound like something I want to do. It does not sound fun. I think I would much prefer to use a library like Bootstrap or Material to give myself those features. So I think that's what I'm gonna do next. So I'm pretty happy with this. Comment sections kind of suck, but that's okay. Or the way this whole thing looks is pretty gross. It's pretty bad. But we're gonna, yeah, this was close everything. Let's make it so, oh, and it's in styles here. Get rid of this. Okay. Article actually loads all the way. I think I'm ready to start doing some better styling. About which library template or something I want to use, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. Another option, something else we might do, is make a like blog reference so you can like select which blog you want. I was actually thinking of making it so these would be static pages. So right now in the database, there's sort of this entries. So I'd have something called refactoring a chess program. That's an ID that lets us load up this specific page from a GitHub repository. Hang on one sec. I gotta step away just for a moment. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Apologies for that. So, now that I'm super zoomed in, we were considering what to do next. And I think like doing some real styling was sort of the next thing that I wanted to do, and I think using something like Bootstrap or Material would be nice. I'm familiar with Bootstrap and Material to make, especially for this comment section, which is kind of horrific. But oh, you know what I want to do? I want to make it so that these comments are actually markdown comments. You could put markdown in them, render as markdown, which will be really easy actually. All we gotta do, the basics will be really easy, and then I probably want to put something that prevents people from certain I probably want to have a limited scope of markdown. But when we go to render, when you do this add comment here, comment body, all I need to do is get my markdown renderer, right? So if I go to show down, it might make sense to create a global one of these. Specifically for my comment. Alright, so I'm gonna put one at the top. Or I'm gonna memoize it. I don't want to put it right at the top. Not gonna need it. Maybe I should do it. Let's call this, I'm gonna write a function render. Maybe not. Hang on. Let's see how bad. So I'm pre-optimizing. Let's do the add comment. I could just have this create one each time. So what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna say, well, maybe I don't need to call new every time. And this is gonna be comment.body. And this is just HTML. So this right here be that. We're gonna set the HTML to be that. Of course, now I gotta scroll all the way. And it didn't work. New node is not defined. Hang on. There we go. Let's try that. Yeah, so now I have these as markdown. So if I could do bold text like hello from Captain Coder. Comment. Now I'll get bold text in there. So now I can do markdown. If someone wanted to add in some code, so the nice thing is if someone wanted to add in some code, your code example is off. C#. Public static void main string args. Well, I should probably make this a rich text editor for this reason, but console.writeLine foobar. Someone could come in here and do this, leave a comment, and they get, do they not get syntax highlight? A little surprised it highlighted, because that's essentially what all of those things are. It does have like the pretext in there. I'm surprised it doesn't have the C#. Let's look at it. Code C# language. Oh, when I render it, I have to I'm gonna have to call the render code or highlight code. All right, so I have to do something like this again. Yeah. Okay, so I have it set up. I can just highlight code and pass in that. Yeah, I wrote that one a little bit reasonable. Highlight code. So at the end, I guess. Highlight code on new. The order of this seems important. Can I put this at the bottom so it doesn't actually add it till all of those things are done? I don't think that matters. There we go. Now you can add code highlighting inside of your comments. Not bad. Now we're just gonna make these comments look less horrific. Add like an index page where we can see them all and some sort of navigation so you can navigate between them. Yeah. I'm getting close. Git status, git add this, git content. Work in progress. Add markdown down comments code highlighting. Okay, push that up. Let's do some bootstrap, I think. Yeah, do some bootstrap because boy is this ugly. Boy is this terrible. But we're getting better. Or maybe I can just find a template that I would want. Let's look at bootstrap. Again, we're doing like vanilla JavaScript. Maybe it's time for me to actually switch to a real project rather than just this vanilla thing. But it is pretty nice. The simplicity. There's a lot of simplicity here. At least I need to refactor my code. This code is a little rough. Yeah. We'll get there. So I want to add in bootstrap. Get bootstrap. From Bootstrap 5 now. That's awesome. Yeah. Might need both of these, but we'll find out. We'll take this CSS and let's see how big their site if we put this. First, bootstrap. Bootstrap. It already looks better. Look at that, just by adding bootstrap. Oh, it already looks better, which is hilarious to me. I wanted to see how much network that added. Not much. The bootstrap. Bootstrap's small apparently. It was cached. So I've loaded the part. So what's nice is if you've been to sites that use Bootstrap, specifically ones that use the CDN version, it caches it. But I'm looking here, it's saying, hey, this was 195 kilobytes cached. This one's 75. So so let's do a hard reload. It's pretty thick, 261 kilobyte. It's a little sad. Remember when I said I'd be really happy if it was under 50? Would be. But I guess on the first time you gotta get all of your dependencies. Now 24.5. That's disappointing. But okay, we'll keep going. So we have Bootstrap in here. We can use Bootstrap to do some of our stylings for us. And then we hopefully won't need a lot of this stuff here. Yeah, so let's look at the documentation, see what we want. Let's add a header bar. Oh, headers. Drop sidebars. Ooh, do I want a sidebar? Modal is really what I wanted. I want the modal for the user. A couple things when you click login. I really want a top bar. When they say headers, do they mean top bar? They do. I want a top bar across the top, which will have login as a button you can press. I think I like those centered and have a little logo on the side. Maybe just a simple header. Double head. That's cute. I don't think I'll have all of those things. Let's go with this very simple one up here. Example. Does it not? Am I supposed to look at the source of the page? I think that's what it's telling me to do. Look at the source. I can. What's going on? Ooh, nav bars. Or do I just take a just a Bootstrap theme? Maybe that's a start, but that feels. I sometimes I like doing that. Do I have to buy these? Is there a free button? Sort by free. I didn't know this. You all. Sort by price. Oh. I guess Bootstrap has to make money somehow, right? Some of these are pretty. Alright, we're not going to pay for anything. We're going to do this from scratch-ish. Alright, so let's... I assumed this would just give me examples. It says examples, just saying examples. So let's go to docs. Let's go to header. Why? That's fascinating. They call it header here. Telling me quick start, create an index, create a viewport for your project, include meta name viewport as well for proper responsive behavior and that. So I guess I should get my HTML at night. And we'll change the title to World's Worst Blog. Make sure. I do like their default font much better than whatever font was by default. Probably like Arial or something. Include Bootstrap and the JavaScript. Place link for CSS and script tag for our JavaScript bundle, including Popper for drop down. Closing the body. All right, so to put this at the body. Comment. Bootstrap JavaScript. Bootstrap CSS. Everything's still good, still good. Okay. Next, include that. You can also include Popper and our JS separately if you don't. I think I'll leave it in there for now, then maybe take it out. Sizing. I really wanted to just take some of their examples. I really want. They had this really nice example here, but there's no code. How do these quickly get a project started with any of our examples ranging using parts of the framework to customize components? I think what they want me to do, source code. Usually a lot of these sites will have this and then there'll be like a little source code chunk next to it. Let's just look at this and I'm just gonna still it, start out, and then customize. Alright, view, edit as HTML. Let's take this chunk. And this is gonna be our header. The format. Let's see. Yeah, we kind of get that header there across the top. Not terrible. The colors and stuff aren't quite matching what they had, but that's okay. We'll adjust. Simple header. Become world's blog. Want this thing. It stays at the top. So I think that might be their nav bar. How it works. Good support for branding, navigation, and for our collection. Let's keep looking here. Let's image. See, I was expecting this on their examples page. See if I like one. Color schemes, that's sort of what I want. Container, placement, position utilities, we can make it fixed. Fixed top, yeah, that's what I want. The fixed top, keep it up there. What a sticky. Find out. Scrolling. Response behavior. Let's start with this basic one. A lot of extra stuff in there that I don't think I want. We'll start with this. Replace. That's already looking nice. Let's see if we can get it stickied at the top. Sticky design. I'm not sure if I want sticky or not. Placement. I think I want fixed top. Last nav bar fixed top. Fixed top. I think this will make it so as I scroll. Oh yeah. That's what I want. That's what I want. Look at that. Okay. We'll do a format just so it's indented the way Mom wanted to. All this builds first blog. The world blog. Let's get rid of a search thing would be cool, but I'm not going to have that in there yet. So I'm going to get rid of that search. I do like that it's pushed over to. For some reason, I like my navigations pushed to the right. but I want to keep track of how they're doing. Here. They have their list here, like this is the content over on the left. All of these things. And probably add my a little bit of navigation to that. Search somehow. This knows to slam itself over the right. I wonder if it's because it's search somehow. Flag. That's a little thing. Get rid of that. Oh, interesting. So by this thing, this chunk is somehow putting itself on the left. I'm not quite sure I understand that. Navbar toggler. It's navbar toggle thing. There's a button here. Don't think is visible. I don't think I need this button. I think that's gonna somehow toggle something. Yeah, link, let's get rid of link. Really, I want my login stuff up here. So I'll have a little section that'll display, you know, you being logged in and whatnot. Yeah, drop down. I don't need a drop down, but maybe later. What I really want is something like this. What did I do? I had a thing, I had a class. I'd created a class, visible if not logged in and visible if logged in. Right? So I'm gonna put in two links in my top bar here. One's gonna be login. Log out. Right, and this one's visible if logged in, visible if not logged in. And we'll make the log out button, do our JavaScript log out. There's that, here we go. That, and then our login. It's actually gonna toggle like a pop-up, but for now, so a little modal will show up and it's like, oh, you can sign in with Google or Facebook or whatever your different, Google and GitHub are the two that I usually use. Login becomes this. When you're logged in, it should swap out. In a moment, there we go. All right, so I want this to go all the way to the right side. I don't know what is putting this on the left here. Let's take a look at, oh, and somehow I deleted something I needed, didn't I? That was part of the responsive. I've lost my logout link. Assuming that little chunk that I took out initially here Got this. Did something weird. Try putting this. Collapse, navbar collapse, ID. Try putting this back in. I'm assuming that this was keeping. We'll do something when the screen is too small. That makes the menu in mobile visible. So if it gets too small, it's like, oh, okay, button. All right, got a little hamburger menu there. I'll leave that for now and clean this up a little more because boy is this page ugly. Boy is this page ugly. I want this to go to the right side. I want it to float over to the right, but now I see that hamburger menu wants to be there. In the event that the menu's gone. Image, I do want to add an image. I want to add my little Captain Coder logo up here in the top right corner here. I'm going to add that in. Let's get a copy of that real quick. Let's get a copy of that industrial. And Escape is loading. Have this. I want just this, and I think I have that by itself. Open. Circle logo. There we go. Like that. And we're gonna export this as a PNG into our project here. Doesn't need to be big, it's gonna be in the top banner, so I'm thinking do 128 by 128. Put that in our project folder. I know you can't see, I don't want you to see all the folders. You can't know me too well. Can't know me too well. I don't want you to see all the folders on my computer. This is GitHub blog site, GitHub to blog. All right, we're gonna create we'll put it here. And then export. All right, so we got our circle logo PNG file. Let's create a folder. Images. There. And then in our top banner, they have a thing in here. Just put it, 30 by 24. Yes. Have bar brand inside of the A tag, anchor tag. And this is gonna be images / circle logo. Let's go with, made it way too big. Let's look like, okay, we'll shrink that down. Try 32 by 32. Come on. All right, WorldWord blog. Got a little fancy. Feeling fancy. Fancy free. Hey. Not bad. All right, what else? Leave that log out in this horrible way for now. let's keep going. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's add little, trying to be a little bit nav bar again. Nav bar end. Alright, what else can we add in? Let's examples. I really just want my blog to look nice there. Need to just let's drop all of this styling on to begin. Alright, I don't need this anymore. Content. It's gonna have to get rid of content. Okay. Yeah. Just look at what they content. Don't need to do too much customizing. After my header, though, for sure. Components header. After my nav bar, after my nav bar, I want things to just show up normally underneath. Some little imagination. Not what I need. I want. Example. Yeah. Just want my content to sort of be like nicely centered on the screen. So I need to sort of say, okay, take up how big do I want this thing to be screen? So content, and I need to tell which classes I want. Okay, so I want it to be like centered. The content itself to be centered. And I think the problem I have is let's get rid of my background color here. Let's get rid of margin. Let's get rid of my custom CSS. Now my title hidden back there. Might actually need to add a little bit of margin on the top to get my body to come through. So how tall is this It is 43 pixels in height, so let's start margin top 48 pixels. And a little bit more. 64. There we go. Now we have our content there. Again, I think the text always looks a little bit better if it's not so thick, so wide. Doesn't take up the whole page. So my content, yeah, so I need to think I have my overall content and then my article should take up a lesser amount. So let's look at what they suggest for. I don't want any special components. Just layout, breakpoints. This is what I'm looking for. Breakpoint and yeah, so my container is something like this, container LG. So this is my content is a container. And there you go. It centers it. And as we get smaller, it responds. Nice responsive layout. Thank you. We got how do you pronounce your username? I would say Sukantian would be my guess. So we have, I'll just bring the chat over here so people, you know, you're the only person, but Sukantian is how I'd pronounce that. How would you pronounce that? Yeah, I'm trying to clean it up. So we actually have a somewhat working thing, and I've added Bootstrap to it to try and clean it up, make it a little bit more responsive here. So I've added this as a little container. I don't think we've had the conversation how I think maybe I just got it right the first time. I think I might have said ancient or something last time. But yeah, I don't recall. And if we have had that conversation, I don't recall how to pronounce it. Yeah. But we have a working comment section. It's a little horrific. But you can leave you can sign in, you can leave comments. And it saves them, records them. So all the things I really want this to do are working. I just got to get it being a little bit better than the worst. But we'll add in a dark mode. Does Bootstrap make it easy to do dark mode? I'm still using vanilla JavaScript. I need to do a major refactor of this. Now that I have this prototype working. Yeah, still vanilla JavaScript. I'm not sure if I will switch to something that's not vanilla JavaScript or not. So I want to... This has been fun. I don't know if I had told you this previously, but I want to use this. You literally already have a dark mode. You're correct. Oh boy. You're correct. Let's see. Chrome set dark mode. Here, let's see what the dark mode looks like. How to enable dark mode for Chrome. Browse in dark mode. Settings, themes. Settings. Oh, I don't want people to see my settings. Let's do this over here. Settings. Theme. Settings, themes. That's a lie. There's no themes here. Let's just search for dark mode. Customize. I think I can tell. Nope, that's not what I want. There should be, I've done this before, appearance. Or is it might be an operating system setting, so it might be a Windows setting, but yeah, let's see if dark mode's still gonna be horrific. Let's see what dark mode looks like. I need to add a button for it. It's not as bad. Look at that. Look at that, it's beautiful. Okay, so trying to just clean it up a little bit, trying to make it a little nicer. Yeah. Something I was thinking of doing was making the images, for whatever reason. I guess I have two monitors. One is 1080p and the other one's 2K. And so I guess I took screenshots on the 2K one, so these are giant over here. What was I doing? You got me distracted. We were yes, cleaning things up a little bit. I kind of want to clean up this comment section. So let's add this I'm gonna add back here my article. I'm gonna make this min or max height 300 pixels, and then overflow scroll. Or I guess I can make it hidden, but I want to clean up my comment section here. Let's clear out a bunch of these comments. Nope, not user. Articles, refactoring, comments. Let's Let's boop these out. Delete. 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 Refresh. So now we have no comments. I need to be logged in. And then I can leave comments using Markdown. Let's get a lorem ipsum comment. Big old paragraph just to make it look reasonable. That'd be a big comment someone might write. Someone might write a smaller comment. I did not take measurements against the XSS. Oh, measures against cross-site scripting. Sorry, I thought I saw. So there's an issue with the Markdown as far as cross-site scripting is concerned. So the Markdown renderer, there is a minor thing. So I think I'm gonna do something about that. Rather than having, I think I might just have these pages get rendered statically server side ahead of time. So like when I commit and push to a repository, it automatically build my site for me. Aside from that, cross-site scripting is, I don't think, an issue. With the way I have my database set up, I don't think you can essentially inject stuff into things that you want. So if a user was logged in on the site, there's some cross-site scripting you could do. If the site somehow decided to load Markdown that had some link with a script tag or something. So I do need to do something about the Markdown render. I think I just need to limit it, say, hey, here's the whitelist of Markdown that you can load. So code, JavaScript here, and still something like that. And then I leave a comment. All right. Okay, so I want to style these comments a little better. That's the thing I'm gonna do now. So, comment. Comment section. This looks funny. Just a second. Okay. Styling these. Here we go. Here we go. Comments. I want these to look a little bit nicer. So I have my comment template. Yeah, my comment template no longer has this. Should no longer do this class. Instead, we're gonna. I think we'll make let's take a look here. I think I want it to be like a card or a stack or something. So let's look at cards. No, not cards. Do they have popover, accordion? Accordion might be nice, so you could like shrink through comments. Collapse. Nice little comment like that, though. So I guess it would be a card. Each comment's gonna be a card with just a body. So let's see what happens if I just do my template here. Just make it a card. Ooh, those already look a little bit nicer. And I need them to be spaced out nicely. So in Bootstrap, maybe add in some inner padding. Yeah. So I'm trying to do it the bootstrap way, but like not writing the CSS myself. So like ideally I should get rid of all my CSS in here. These ones are little hacky things I've done. But let's come in here and we're gonna comment out all of that for now. So I'm only using the bootstrap stuff. All right. And in the cards, I want the cards to take up less space. So I think I need to put them in a container. So this should also be a container. Like that. And then to make it so that things flow nicely in the container, let's look at layout. Containers, responsive. What do you do to make them flow up and down? PY5. Yeah, so padding on the Y direction 5. I actually might want to do PA. So on these here, PA like 2. They're not a PA? Is it PY? Let's see. Not it. Something interesting. Oh, did it just need to be refreshed? Yeah. It's not PA? Yeah, it is. Oh no, it's not. It's just P? Interesting. So that's fascinating. In okay. Little comment cards. I want the we need to have a little bit more on the header. So this should be a typography thing. So for the header, I want it to be sort of bolded. And maybe a little bit more space. So do they have on cards? Card title. Yeah. Class card title. Card title. That do anything interesting? It seems to have wanted me to do like an H. Card title, card subtitle. So let's try that. Let's do card title. And let's make this an H5. Card title. And what did they do? This one I like the example here. H6. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, I like it. Look at that. Little bootstrap. Cleans things up pretty nicely. I don't think I need this div here anymore. Looks pretty good. The extra padding on the bottom's a little bit annoying, so I might do PL, PR, E, top. Those correct options? They're not. Let's look at what they say. Padding. Open up a tab so I can search for. Thank you, spacing is what I'm looking at. MP. Are these incorrect? the PL and PR. Well, let's do, really I want PX. There we go. I like it. What do you think? What do you think? And I'm saying your username wrong every time. Antian. I think that looks reason. It looks better for sure. Better for sure. On the comment section there. And then I want some spacing between them, so I'm gonna do margin on the comment section itself. So margin Y2. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. But I want some of the components that Bootstrap provides. So I don't want to have to write modals on my own. I didn't want to have to write the code to do the menus, that sort of thing. So yes, for this specifically, the raw CSS probably would have been much easier. But it automatically does like nice responsive things for me where it chunks to something that looks reasonable. That would not have been as straightforward to write. That's the one thing that you get when you use Bootstrap or Material or these component libraries. That is pretty nice. You don't have to reinvent it over and over. And if you learn the tool, which clearly I haven't, it makes your life a little bit more standardized. That's the other thing. If you know this, a lot of websites use it. It's very standard, so you don't have to necessarily read through all of the customizations again. Okay. Let's add here in the comments section, we're gonna do page 3 comments. Comments, and then do I even need the word comments there? Should I just pretend people know what the comments are, what a comment section is? Feels okay. All right, let's clean up this horrific thing down here. The actual comment box. Get rid of one of these comments so I don't have to keep scrolling down to it. Trash out this one. And then this comment box will need to be necessary. So let's look at the form options. We input. I want a nice text box. And button. They provide these nicer buttons for us too. With text area. Okay, that's what I want. Text area. Swap that out here. I know. So the thing is, I know. You're right. We'll do it this way. I think you're right. Let's swap out this text box. format. Change this to leave comment. Leave a comment. That auto refresh. I wish I had a like minor delay. This box does look nicer. And let's you are logged in. I can get rid of that. You're already logged in. You don't need to know you're logged. That breaks something in my JavaScript. Was I using that? Sent. And then make this leave a comment button one of their buttons. I want this to is that padding layout. Green is padding. The padding is not on this. Interesting. The padding. That is the padding. There. Where's this padding coming? Comment adding on it just because it's a container. Oh, it's a container inside of a. If I did this closing one, there we go. I wanted to. Nope, that's not what definitely not what I. I just not. There we go. I just didn't need that to be a container. Okay. Now these match in size. Leave a comment. Let's look at the Bootstrap buttons. Button. Button tag. Here we go. And we're gonna make this a class button primary. Using their ugly colors, we'll have to customize those. Button comment. All right. Now we get responsive. And we'll add in margin bottom 2, and then I want the comment to go to the right. Or do I want to take up the whole space there? Div class grid. There we go. That looks all right. This looks reasonable. This looks reasonable, and if it's bigger, it looks okay-ish. As the screen gets wider, you still have those reasonable margins at the end. Although I might make it so that this container here, what is it? We can set it to a maximum. Container LG. This limit things. Oh no, that's not. I want it to just have. Yeah, I think I leave it as container. I think it's fine. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know if I need this label. Have this here. I want it to be. I don't want it so. It's how each container's max width compares to the original container. Container. It's container. It's fine. Oh. Okay. If I'm logged out, I need to have a button that says leave a comment. So this will be a button that's instead. Log in to comment. I'm pretty sure. ZC, how's it going, my friend? I'm doing excellent here. Just trying to working on a blog, making a website that I can do blogs on. I'm doing fantastic though. How are you? Class. So I am not really a web developer. I've done some web development. Glad to hear it. We're working on making this blog site. Okay, so the way it works is this site is loading content from Markdown. So I've worked as a professional software development for many years. My current job, so now I'm a full-time teacher. So, but I've done many years in industry, but I love teaching, and this is partly me developing a project for my students, for them to create. I'm going through the process myself to understand what to do to make a Markdown site. I wrote this article, and then I ended up posting it on GitHub and posting it on Reddit, and then got a lot of good feedback. So I wrote this article. It's super long, but I sort of went through and there's a C# program that was really gnarly. One is like one giant method. I went through and refactored it. Someone had posted asking for help on Reddit. I went through and refactored and said, oh, here's how you would do it. And then I wrote an article. Got some great feedback, and I was like, I should really have a blog site, because all the comments that I got on this article are now sort of on Reddit and not associated with the blog. So it'd be great to have those those comments attached to the article. So I decided, well, I should make a blog site to do it. And I didn't want to use like WordPress or some blogging thing. I wanted to be able to just keep writing my articles using Markdown because I'm comfortable with it. I thought, what a fun exercise to come in and try and create a blog site. And so here we are. So this code, this here actually loads from the raw file here. So it loads up this thing here and then renders it as HTML. I've added a comment section. You can log in, log out. So logs in, you can leave comments if you log in. Right now it only supports Google. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. How about you? What do you do? Are you a professional programmer? What are your what brings you here today? I'm gonna get a modal pop-up. When you click login, I want a thing to pop up that gives you options. Login. A modal. Awesome. Web development's good stuff. Yeah, I worked at a company for 4 years before moving into teaching. And before that, I worked for many years before. So I have a degree in, so I have a bachelor's in computer science, and I went to grad school for computer science education. Then I was a freelancer for many years doing web development. Worked for a handful of companies, 10 years, and now I'm a teacher. Always wanted to be a teacher. It turns out it's hard to become a teacher as a programmer. But I've always wanted to be a teacher. Right? How long, you say you're a beginner, how long have you been studying, learning? All right, looking for modal. And so I want a modal to pop up here when someone clicks login. Okay, so we're gonna add into my app here. I'm gonna create a function show login modal, and we're gonna create a modal in here for our login modal. Yeah, I have 25, I think 24 or 25. I've been programming for 24 or 25 years. You would think I would be better at this point. I think I'm pretty good. I just have a wide breadth of things that I've done as far as programming goes. That's in here. Make sure this doesn't show up. Page loads, it doesn't. All right, so we're gonna call this login modal. Again. Awesome. Are you doing just HTML, CSS right now? Or are you doing some JavaScript? What are you doing as far as that goes? Modal. Login. And then our modal text goes here. And modal my input. I see. So this is going to be ID equals login modal. Okay, PHP is like my first. So PHP gets a lot of hate. PHP was my first web language, really. So HTML, I built a lot of static pages, HTML, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript. But when one of the first things I learned was PHP. It gets a lot of hate, and there's for good reasons. The biggest one is that it is so, I want to say so easy to learn, but it's relatively easy to learn quickly. So you can start doing stuff with PHP right away without knowing like how to engineer and build larger software. And so you end up with these unfortunate sites that are just like pretty hacky. So there's this idea where you want to separate sort of what you're seeing on the screen and like the model behind the and your data, and that's ends up being a little bit, it's easy to abuse PHP, I think I'd say. But yeah, PHP is a great way to start learning, and it's used all over the place. That's the other thing. I've had as a freelancer, I've done tons and tons of work with PHP. So people hate on it, but it's really good to know because a huge number of websites are written in PHP. Showed up. My modal. Got it. Add event list isn't quite what I want. Although I guess maybe but yeah, I don't know if you've experienced that yet with people hating on PHP. It's not the first thing I would choose to use as if I'm coding these days. But it's a great way to start because it sort of mixes things together. Button. Why am I not using WordPress? Well, there's a couple reasons. And maybe WordPress supports this. The first one is I don't want to have to pay for anything. That's the biggest one. Danny, yes, I'm creating the backend for this project. But I'm not using WordPress because one, I don't want to have to pay for anything. Two, I literally want to be able to write Markdown and have it. I want my blog entries to be written in Markdown and to be part of like a GitHub repository. So if I want to edit them, I just edit them and push them to my GitHub, and that will update my blog site. Maybe there's something with WordPress to do that. And then the third reason is I think this could be a fun project for my students. So I'm going through the process of figuring out what I need to do to make a blog site, and then I could distill it down into, a homework assignment for them to complete. My backend is Firebase, which is maybe not the best choice in the world in general for backends, but you get a free database with it, and it's a NoSQL database. So as long as you don't mind things being public, API hosting. So like just making calls. Yeah, I know Heroku shut down. I do a lot of my builds. So I was gonna say GitHub Actions where I do my builds through. What are your APIs written in? So usually I'll put them out on a cloud server somewhere. You could do Firebase, but then you're stuck writing them using Firebase things. So Firebase gives you some API stuff. First, like 2 million requests a month or something are free. But I wouldn't recommend Firebase if you have anything big and you already have a big project. So ZC, you're asking, WordPress is totally free. The software is free. The hosting's not free. So I gotta host it somewhere, is the issue. And I don't want to pay for the hosting. Gotcha. I've never heard of Railway app. I'm gonna bookmark that though. People have been sharing all kinds of great things. I'll bookmark that and come back to it. Yeah, so I typically just host on AWS, but that's not free. So a lot of my services are through AWS. Very well. Actually, AWS is, I think, the first like some million requests cost basically nothing on AWS, and the AWS free tier is pretty good. But I think that expires after a year. My AWS bill is like $7 a month, which is pretty nice. But AWS is overkill for a lot of things. But yeah, ZC, I don't know if I answered your question. The biggest thing is, why not? I want to practice something. I want to learn something new. How would I go about making a blog site? That's sort of how I was feeling about it. I think it would be a good exercise for my students. Okay, gotta focus. Gotta stay in the game so I can get this this modal pop-up working. Want it to be based off a link. And down here, my login button. Okay. Data toggle modal. How do I make it? And interesting. I want my modal to show up via JavaScript. Button. Loop. Usage via JavaScript. Here we go. New bootstrap modal. Create a modal. I want to open it. Trying to understand. Modal show. Okay, so I think I need to create something like this in my CSS or my JavaScript. So when my page loads, after my document has loaded, make this on to begin, and then after my page loads, and I really want this to be login modal, and the element was login this. Okay, and then I think there's just a show method, login modal.show. See how we do. Work it. No, but options is not defined. Oh, that makes sense. I didn't define any. Do I need any? Go with the default options. There we go. All right. And instead of showing it here, let's move this login modal. And again, this is a prototype, so my code's a little bit hacky. Because I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do all this stuff. Then I'm gonna go through and clean it up. But ideally, I'd want to put this I want to encapsulate everything using object-oriented programming if I can. Bibe, welcome to the chat. Welcome to making the world's worst blog. So I'm making the world's worst blog here using vanilla JavaScript. And it's starting to look okay. Doesn't look it was looking really bad earlier. If you go back and watch some of the earlier videos, it was pretty bad. But I'm building a prototype so that way I know how to go about building this thing. Then I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna clean it up. Maybe not later today. Probably not later today. Where's my login? Show login mode. Should just be this. All right. And in fact, this is stupid. At this point, I don't need that whole thing there. Instead, oh, I do want this because I want to be able to attach it to a couple different things. I have a login method. What is being called in my code here? My login button at the top. Login. Doing Google Auth. I want to change this to just login. Oh, ZC, that's a great question. ZC's in the chat is asking me what languages do I know? Many languages. No is a strong word, so like depends on what you mean by no. Which languages have I used? I've used a ton. Python, Java, JavaScript, Haskell, Elm, Scala, C#. Right now I'm sort of in like a C#. The last year or two I've been doing a lot of C#. I teach a C# intro to C# class at the school I work at right now. Next term I'm gonna be teaching a Unity class, so that's a lot of C#. I'm gonna change this to show login. Those are just a few off the top of my head. I've done a lot in OCaml as well. OCaml and Haskell are one of my both of those are two of my favorite programming languages of all time. Scheme, I think it's called Racket these days, but I've done a lot of programming in Scheme. I'm really into functional programming, or I was for a long time. All right, let's find everyone. Just did some refactoring and wasn't paying enough attention. Did I have Google in here anymore? No. Okay. Those are a few that I can think of off the top of my head. I've also written and worked on a handful of programming languages. There's a programming language called Frenetic. It's a domain-specific language for doing software-defined networks, and that was an awesome research project I was working on when I was in grad school. Oh, show login. All right, so now ideally if I click login, cool. So this thing here, I'm gonna list the different login options you have, and this should also pull that up. Okay, so inside of this, so just for I'm gonna put a to do here. To do remove. This is just so each time it reloads, I'll have my modal there so I can just keep editing it. But the idea here, oh, PHP, my product. When you say my product, what are you referring to? Like, I don't know what you're referring to. Just like a finished product, or the thing I'm making right now? I apologize, I don't understand the question. Okay, so my body is gonna go here. Oh, just this site? Yeah, so this is what I have so far. This is what I have so far. Oh, let me walk you through all the things that it does. Let me take this out. It's certainly not finished yet, but here is what it does so far. All right. So I have articles on GitHub written in Markdown, and you can view these articles so you can get the raw source. So this is the Markdown source of the article I wrote about how I refactored a chess program. Okay. And here's my database. So in my database, I have a collection called articles. And right now, the only thing in it is the refactoring a chess program. And this is just a reference to the article itself. So it has a name, when it was published, and a URL. to this chunk here. So this source here. All right. So on our index page, that is going to load into this section here. The idea is I want to be able to have a function. So right now it's loading this one specifically, but I have a function load article that takes in the ID. So this is the ID in the database here. So the ID in the database is this refactoring a chess program. And the idea is I'll eventually make it so that you can see different articles, load different articles, that sort of thing. But we have refactoring a chess program here. And so this will load in the article. So let's look at what load article does. It connects to the database. It pulls out, it makes a request. All right, so it pulls out that URL here where it's gonna pull that value. So this is the URL. It says this is what I want to load up. Right, so it pulls that out, and then in the code here, I'm using a library called Showdown, which will actually take that markdown and convert it to HTML. So that's what we see here. So it loads this up. You see for a second it loading, and then we get the whole article rendered here. So this is the article rendered on this website rather than on GitHub. And then down at the bottom, the whole point of the blog was so I could have a comment section. So down at the bottom, you can leave comments if you're logged in. So I have this login. Oh, now it's broken. We can't quite log in yet. But the idea here, you can authenticate with Google right now. So let me finish adding that in real quick so we can authenticate. And then you can post comments. Those comments get stored alongside. So then there's another collection of comments that are stored with the article. And then those are displayed down at the bottom. So that's essentially what I have done so far in the last, I think this is my 4th stream. So about 8 hours is how much I've done. When I'm streaming, apparently I code pretty slowly because I like chatting with all you nice folks. All you nice people who come and chat with me, and but now I have this, so I can go back. The idea is I can go back into this footage, and I can chop it up to make little tutorials videos. That's sort of the idea. Is this is sort of my way of tracking what I'm doing, and I like to share this with my students. Say, hey, go check this out. This is how I did it. You'll watch it on like 2x speed or whatever, but I can chop it up to just the parts where I'm coding. And I think it's really important for my students. So a lot of people don't realize the coding process is, I don't know everything. So when you see the final product, like, wow, how did you do all that? And the answer is I did a lot of Googling. I did a lot of documentation reading. And I just want to show that process. I think it's really important for people to see that process, especially, not especially my students, everyone, but especially people who are learning to code. Because I think it's easy to think, wow, how am I ever going to memorize and remember all of these things? And the answer is you're not. You're not. How many times have I had to go and look up Bootstrap and how to use Bootstrap? 10 million times. 10 million times. I worked at a company for 4 years where I used Bootstrap all day long, and I still have to go back and look at these things. I don't have an incredible memory in that regard. All right, ZC, did that answer your question, or did I satisfy your request? I hope so. But let's get this login thing looking a little nicer. So there's a couple different. Right now, there's only one. So I'm just gonna add a link here. Href. And I guess I have to put this back in down here. I need to expose the authenticate with Google. You're welcome. I'm happy to do that. Go through that process. That's the whole reason I'm here. I want people to know. And this code is all it's all published on my GitHub, so feel free to take it and use it. If you want to mimic or just learn, read through, see what I'm doing. It's a little gross. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of gross right now. So it's not. Again, this is the prototype. I'm building this out to see where the pain points are, how I can reduce complex, and how can I like build an assignment description that walks someone through it without giving them the entire solution. JavaScript, Google Auth. Okay. What did I probably, let's see, what did I call it? Google Auth is what I called it. What did I call it down here? Google Auth. Login. There we go. All right, so we have this login button, and obviously this is pretty gross, and these buttons are incorrect. But now I can log in, so you can see. I'm going to show you the comments now. If you're logged in, you can leave a comment down here. So here is a comment, and it supports Markdown. So you can do bold if I wanted to. I can do code snippets. So if I wanted to post this code snippet in here, and then I'll leave the comment. Oh no, it broke. What happened? Post comment on line 192. Something's broken. Line 192. Comment box. Get element comment box. Okay, let me copy this to my real quick. When I was reshaping this site to look a little nicer, I didn't. This text area used to be called comment box, and so it went to go find the comment, and it couldn't find this element. So now leave a comment. There you go. Leaves it like so, and that's it so far. But yeah, you can. That's what I wanted. I wanted people to be able to comment and leave their comments directly on my blog posts, so people could have them. And I didn't want random people, so you have to authenticate, which is maybe not the best. But let's get this login looking a little nicer. Let's get rid of these buttons I don't need. Modal footer, I don't need that. So login with Google, and so I'm going to add a couple different I'm going to have login with Google and login with GitHub. So for authentication, let's add one more sign-in method. Oh, that's right. When I went to adding GitHub, I needed to go get client ID. Let's learn more. I think I need to. That's right. I didn't add this because there were some things I needed for here that were private. So I'm going to move this off the screen real quick and do that. Just a moment. While I set up GitHub authentication, so we can have two different. Okay, so I think I have GitHub authentication working, although I might have to do a little bit more to get that finalized. But we'll add a second link here. ZC's asking if I stream regularly. I'm trying to stream more regularly. I've been doing it pretty consistently the last few weeks. I'm trying to do it more often. I post on my YouTube channel or again, I'm trying to get back into it. I'm teaching a class next term. I'm teaching a couple classes next term that I want to be able to have resources for, so I'm building that back up. I have a YouTube channel, Captain Coder, and then I have Captain Coder Live on YouTube, which is where I usually stream stuff. So I do game jams, that sort of thing. I think I'm going to be streaming more regular. That's why I'm here. But I've been streaming the last couple days. Early in the morning is probably when I'm doing, or early my time. So it's 8 a.m. here. I've been streaming since about 6 a.m. I actually got to hop off in a little bit because I have a class I have to teach in an hour. So I'm gonna have to hop off and prep for that. But I'm trying to stream regularly what I'm working on. I think it's a healthy thing to do, to have as a resource for my students. That's one of the main reasons I'm Firebase authentication web, GitHub. Right, so I need to create the GitHub provider. So I'm gonna duplicate my code here a little bit, and then I'll clean it up later. So Google auth, really function do perform auth is what I should have here. Yeah, I've been having a great time doing it, like meeting nice people like you, so I'm glad you're here. I wish I had a regular schedule. That's one of the things I should probably set up a schedule for it. Service or auth provider. So let's put this here, and then perform auth is going to take in this provider, and function. I actually do have a Discord, but I might change that a little bit. That's a good idea. I do actually have a Discord where my students are, and I'm not sure if I want to make a separate Discord. It's not very active. During the summers, it's active. Yeah, I have a Discord called Captain Coders Academy, where I have, over the summer, had lots of students using it. I've run classes over the summer. But that's a great idea to set up a Discord as well. There's lots of things I should do. Well, let's see. We would like to join Curious Coders. What is Curious Coders? Or are you saying Curious Coders would like to join? Here, I'll get you an invite link if you want to join Captain Coders Academy. Let's get an invite link here real quick. If you would like to join the Captain Coder Academy Discord, I've just posted a link to it in the chat. Very inactive right now, but maybe you'll make it more active. It's where I always tell my students, whenever I'm teaching students a class over the summer, something like have my students join there. During the school year, I don't use it as much because, well, I'm in official classes. I'm not running my own coding stuff, and so all of the school I work for, actually, we do all of our communications over Slack. Provider, and then I'm gonna have to import this. But yeah, feel free to join. And if you have any questions, that sort of thing, I'd be happy to. That was the wrong spot. This authentication. Let's see here. Do I log in? It says log in with Google. Let's change that to GitHub. And still going to Google. Oh, because it should be GitHub auth. And then I'm gonna have to expose that. GitHub lowercase h. Yeah, one of the things I've thought about doing is actually running a stream. If I had enough people following, I think it would be cool to run a stream called Office Hours that I hold once or twice a week, where it's sort of like I work on my own thing, but I want it's designed so people can come and ask questions, and I'll have like a Discord channel set up where you join in the Discord channel, ask me questions. We do a live share on your code and we work through a problem. I think that would be a really fun thing to do. GitHub. Yeah, I have my authentications not quite right here. I'm gonna have to fix this next time. I am out of time today. Thank you so much for hanging out, watching this stream. I hope you learned something. I hope, at the very least, I hope it was entertaining and fun. I'm gonna do a commit here with what I have. Git commit -m, work in progress started. Work on restyle / GitHub authentication. And we'll push that up there. And I'll post a link to this just in case anyone wants to look at the source code here. GitHub blog site. Yeah, my pleasure to do the stream. My pleasure. Here's a link to this source code. If anyone's curious, wants to check it out, dig in, ask questions, ask me questions on it. We've probably got, you know, we're on hour 8 here of getting this going. I suspect we have another, you know, 2 to 3 sessions before I'm pretty happy with it. But the types of things that are left to do, GitHub authentication is one thing. Maybe I'll make it so people can sign up directly with like a username or password or something. So I need to do authentication. I need to make it so people can set their display names to whatever they want. So right now their display name is whatever their display name is when they log in, whatever authentication. So custom display names is left. I need to make sort of like an actual index page where it shows all of the articles that are available. And then I need a tool that will publish this out to the internet. So ideally, when I do a commit like this to GitHub, it will build and deploy it and host it somewhere on the internet. Anyway, we're making progress. I'm happy with where we're at. Thank you so much for hanging out. I enjoyed chatting with everyone. Have a beautiful day.